Welcome to the Roy Anthony and
every
Friends
Tuesday
show.
and every Thursday.
Hey,
Y'all
hey,
tap
is
in.
this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show home on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
And Cynthia Joi.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring co-host Big Hank
And Cynthia Joi.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
Every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
Every
Show.
Tuesday.
It's during the week, homie. The Roy
Every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap
call
in.
before we gotta
Tap
go.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
Every
Show. Come on
Tuesday.
and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
Every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. And
What it do? What it do? What it do? Yes, once again, this is Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. And as everyone knows, we come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. on the Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. on Pacific Standard Time. Hey, what's up with you, Dean? Dean's in the house and stuff. He say, hey, y'all, hey, happy to be part of the WO network along with some of our good friends. So I'm announced here. I always do my little credits in the beginning, and I'll be coming from the top of my head. So if you see, sometimes it seems like I pause a little bit, is because I'm making sure that I'm saying names correctly, making sure I pronounce my words correctly. You know, Big Hank is a big historian, English major. Basically, he knows some words, and he used to get on me when we first worked together. I would say all types of stuff, man. But once again, my name is Roy Anthony. Our co-stars will be coming in: Big Hank, Cynthia Joi. Richie just said CEO, getting ready to make more shine, have a good show, okay, and stuff. You know, I guess he has to put his full concentrated attention on that shine. You can't. And so, once again, like I said, the Roy Anthony Show, we come live from the platform of the WO Entertainment, which was a platform that was created to bring awareness to how our veterans that's active and non-active that commit suicide on a daily rate. We're like almost at 44. It was 22 domestically or veterans and those who are active, and it counts up to 44. Then we have teenagers that's committing suicide almost at 12 to 14 times a day. This isn't a yearly or monthly, it's a daily scenario. And the platform, which was created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, that's the stand-up comedic name, along with the co-creator Goose and our social producer Blue Phoenix, Athens. We have our good sponsor Matthew Brooks, and then we have our very good neighbors and our friends, good friends, the BB Nation, which is the Backwoods Veterans based out of Oregon. Then we have the VRS, the Veteran Radio Syndicate, that's based out of, if I'm not mistaken, Ohio and the Ohio area, if I'm not mistaken. We had the president of the VRS here this past Tuesday, President George Pardos, and I learned some nice things from him, and he also, I know that he learned himself with us. Sometimes when people be on the outside looking in at our show, sometimes they get a little bit nervous to try, to come in, but eventually, we warm up on them. Like, here's one of my co-stars. She just came in the house. What's up there with
What's
you?
up, boo? How you
What's
doing,
up?
Sugarfoot?
How you doing, Cynthia Joy?
Pretty
Looking very
good.
lovely. You like remind me of doing the Wiz. Today's color is green. How you doing? How's the baby boy doing?
He better. He back in school today.
Oh, okay. That's really, I can see it in your face because them sleepless nights when them kids, you know.
Listen, it's the truth.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with everybody. Dean said VRS is from Ohio, Columbus area. I was just talking about when we had President George Pardos on this
Okay.
past Tuesday, and I learned some stuff for real. I love how our show is. Our show is based on it's a conversation, it's not a confrontation. We're not egotistical. Cynthia Joy can say what she wants to say, and we hold her standards highly, with the things she say, because a lot of people on this comes from where she's saying. Sometimes they look at me as I'm the comedy relief, and Cynthia Joy is more to the affection and emotional of people's hearts. That's what I've been told. You feel me? But I pride myself in, along with Cynthia Joy and Big Hank be coming in, that we tackle conversations that other people seems to might not have, can get a good feel of the conversation. When the Big Hank's in, that's why I was saying, how you doing, Hank?
What's up, bro? What's happening with you, Cynthia?
Good morning, Sugarfoot. How you doing, honey?
Man, it's all good, man. It's all good, man.
It's a Big Hank can't be walking through the parks of Long Beach doing this.
Yeah, I can't be doing no funny man, doing the Fred Sanford and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with everyone. I was really impressed with George Pardos Tuesday. And like I was stating, is that some people watches our show from a distance, and when they're invited to come in, sometimes they kind of like a little nervous or something, and then they warm up on us. And I think that George opened up and told us some things and helped us on some things, and that's what good conversation is about.
Yeah. Yeah, he enlightened me, man. Don't get me wrong. I knew a lot of the cops was you got bad cops and you got good cops, but I didn't know the whole institution was set up on doing illegal shit. I didn't know doing illegal stuff. Rather, I'm working on my way. Working on my way.
Remember we was talking about them charters. It starts with them charters, our city council.
Yeah.
Them city councils, like we see them, an alderman, the city council folks. Do you know that they can change the charters on how police are the policing?
Yeah.
And when I found that out, we did that show last year, I think.
Yeah.
And what I found out is that these city council people sit there right there in church with you.
Yeah.
Lord, that's a travesty. If you go to work, you can help change it. That's what we voted you for.
But what Pardos is saying is they all getting the cut, so they ain't trying to change that. They getting the cut too.
Exactly. Right. That's what I said. Now we know why they not changing.
Right.
That's my point, Big Hank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Los Angeles has been under the same charter of 1912. Ohio and Missouri is under the same charter, they said, from 1898 or 1905. You can look it up yourself.
Yeah.
Now we understand, because we couldn't understand why the city council people don't change the charters, but now we understand why, because we found out Friday. And if you're gonna get your cut, you're gonna get, it's like a board. I work for a company, and the boards had to get all their money. They need all of it. So we lost a project, and we was trying to get some more projects, but the board, who we had never met, was complaining, why is my check $300 short?
Right.
He was used to getting $10,000 a month, and now he's getting $9,700. They
Right.
said, well, we lost this project, and we have, the employees. You know what the board member said? Well, can
What's
we get
that?
rid of a couple of employees because I need my whole
Yeah. Why don't you fire a couple of them niggas, black dudes down there, man? Let me get my 300 back.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
And so they say, oh, it's an isolated incident, because a lot of these police officers has misconducts on their background. And I can't understand, they got misconducts, but you're still putting them out there doing the same thing.
Right.
What's the punishment? Misconduct. You can't
right.
carry a gun.
What's the point of putting down that they got misconduct if they're not getting no kind of ramifications behind it?
Mm-hmm.
I have my whole paper filled up with misconduct if ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Yeah. And it sounds like that's what some of them is.
That's
some
what they
got
do.
Hired from a police station, got hired at another police station.
Yeah, that's how it go.
And that's why I want to bring up in this segment, in our first segment, which is the news. I was reading about this guy who got executed by the state of Missouri Tuesday evening. We got off our show. I watched the World Live Entertainment show. That evening, this black guy got executed for murder. He stated that since 2008, he has stated he's been innocent of this murder of a black mother and her 3 children. He said he was in California. It seems like he had a clad alibi, and the courts, who can change it up or whatever, wouldn't even want to listen to it. They had their man. Now, if I did a crime, this is how they look at it, and they know that me and Big Hank and Cynthia's, y'all my peoples.
Right.
That if I did a crime in Missouri, and I told them I was with Big Hank, he can vouch for me.
Right.
He's like, well, he's your friend. He'll bias for you and all that. But wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. You're saying I'm guilty, and I'm trying to prove my innocence, and you don't want to accept that.
Right.
Because it was Richie King that brought to my attention about how many people, especially blacks, that are being in prison for not doing the crime. Now, it's a shame when they exonerated this guy who they already executed 3 years after his execution, to find that his DNA did not match. Now, why didn't you test his DNA while he was alive?
Right.
Yeah.
And so now the DNA test result came up to unknown. That's what they say. They labeled as unknown.
Right. Okay.
Families in Arkansas, they've been trying to get, it was about their daughter. How I know about this case, because I spoke up on the family, thinking that they was happy that they called a black guy, and the family got wind of it, and I had to apologize to them, because they went against the state and said that we done prayed, and we don't think he should be executed, and we don't think this is God. The state said, no, we got this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A thing just popped up on my computer saying police shooting, officer involved, shooting investigation underway up in North Sac.
It's crazy.
Now, I can't say that, and I know it's a picky situation of people say, well, how do you know the good from the bad? For one, let's stick with the morals of I am innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a double standard.
Yeah.
Now I brought up President George Pardos. I really agree with everything he said, except for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of the policing of differences
in
certain areas.
Right.
Because we have had countless of blacks and from different cities and states, and they have gone through the same thing. There, I'm gonna give you one typical one: driving while black.
Yeah.
That's happened across the United States. But it was interesting because Mr. Pardos actually, you can tell when somebody is at full belief of what they saying and doing,
Yeah.
right. He really believes that, which is, sounds to me it should be like that. What you think, Cynthia? I mean, me doing a come on, because you know the fight lives in the heart of a survivor.
I'm glad you know that's where it lives and not that it lives. No, but I agree with what he was saying in the last show. That's what it should be like. But the reality is that's not what it's like. And then it makes you wonder how true is it that they say police officers was once KKK members and now they wear badges? Because it kind of seems like these people got this hatred and this fear for this complexion because it was already part of who they were. I could be wrong.
Now, now what you said makes me feel like your title can be looked at two different ways.
Okay, what's that now?
Fight lives in the heart of, I'm trying to survive.
Facts.
See, one thing we had to deal with, we all as humans deal with health issues. But sometimes health issues can result from stress from when you're going out and I got a bullseye on my back. It may not be from the police. It may be from a gang. It may be from somebody who just got out and hate me from something way back in the past and is on a revenge tip.
Right.
Some people was in the stores. Look, me and Big Hank, I don't know, do you remember this? In 2018, we was in Santa Ana. We did a segment, this before we was with the Woe Entertainment. We did a segment about the mass shootings that happened that year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even August of 2018 or 19, if I'm not mistaken, Big Hank, we had already had 248 mass shootings.
I remember that.
I like concerts. I like to see people perform. Right. I do. I love seeing people perform. I don't care what type of genre it is. I like to see someone showing
what type of what? Genre?
Or I mean,
are you talking about genre?
Yeah, genre. Genre would be the word. Genre.
All right, I like rock and roll.
You know what?
I like
that niggism is real.
I never said John Jenners.
That niggism is real right now.
I just told him at the beginning that Big could correct me on some words.
What did you call it?
Janars. I called it as I was.
Man, don't say that no more. Don't say Janars no more.
Don't ever say that again.
Don't say Janars no more. Genre.
I'm gonna have a problem with saying it like that, so I'm gonna just
I know.
Genres.
Just call it
just like my jaw was locking up because I
just call it that category. Just call it a category. Just
there you go. We try to help you out, man.
They ain't gonna let me host no Grammys.
Not at all. Not at all. Not calling them Janars.
I'm different flavors of music.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You call it genre.
Different looks of music. I like watching live performances, though. I do.
That was hilarious.
Mention live performance. Y'all have got me off a little bit.
That was hilarious.
I got a messenger picture. So Beyonce is gonna be in Kansas City.
Okay.
For concert, right?
Okay.
Guess how much the nosebleed sections is? They talking about row 458 and all that. Guess how much those tickets are?
$1,000.
$1,450. I lie to you not. I lie to you not.
Yes, sir.
I told the people they can give me $20. I sing all their songs for you.
To her, no, no, no,
If
no,
you really
no.
want to put a ring
Because I'm
on
not
it,
paying,
if you really want to put a ring
paying.
on it, I said, just give me $20. I'll sing all her songs.
Right.
First, you gotta ask them what genre they want you to sing it in.
Right.
Yeah. They gonna throw me. I'm gonna know what they're saying, but I just ain't gonna get me to repeat the word.
What genre y'all want me to get in now? What genre y'all want me to be in?
Yeah.
My nigga.
And you know,
Love,
I'm gonna tell you, like on our show, I feel comfortable with y'all and talking with stuff.
Yes, sir.
I understand, and I don't like to bring up subjects like talk about suicide because of personal scenarios that happen with Big Hank.
Yeah.
But with the Woe Entertainment, and that shows you how brave he is. If you really knew some of our personal, like his personal spot.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't know my brother and my sister-in-law and my two nephews got murdered.
Wow.
By a Dallas police officer in St. Louis, Missouri.
Mm.
And he died on the scene too. Because they know how to execute a murder without it being traced to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I tell people, when I see like, oh, it's an unsolved murder and stuff where you got the evidence, I think it's somebody in the house.
Yeah.
You know, there was a captain in Kansas City, Kansas, back in the 80s and 90s. He was raping and killing black women, but putting it on black guys who's doing prison time. They just knocked him out.
Yeah.
The FBI came and arrested him. Now he's saying he's too sick. He can't stand trial. How?
Yeah. What difference do that make? We don't care about that.
Yeah. How many people are innocent because, and then put the law in their hands? I can't watch the movie Till, or the movie about Emmett Till, because as a kid, I've known the movie. I mean, the story of Red. I don't want to see that movie all over again.
Right.
I definitely didn't go see Emancipation. I ain't watching that or nothing. Not on TV, none of that.
I mean, I'm sure if you read it, that the read was more detailed than the movie anyway. You got enough of it. You don't need the extra.
Yeah, but Will Smith ought to have been ashamed of himself. You can't go slap Chris Rock and then talk about you running for your freedom. I thought that was kind of wrong. You know, hey, y'all, we supposed to we're getting trained to where we have commercials, and so while we're getting commercials in line, those who watches our show, if you have an idea that your commercials, I didn't have people ask, can they promote on our page? Yes, you can. We try to be where at the first 20-25 minutes I show something. So what I want to do was I'm going to give this highlight to this brother right here, and to come back. This is our commercial break.
So here's my advice to you. We don't know what next week will look like. So we have managed to get to the house of
I thank God for my grandmother, Norma Fisher, and my uncle, my pastor, Michael J.T. Fisher. But I dedicate this to my grandfather, Dr. W. Jerome Fisher. That legacy lives on. You feel betrayed, God's got it, and I trust him. I adore him. I know they left you, but don't worry, God's got it, and I trust him. You lost your way, don't worry, I ain't giving up, no, I ain't giving up. They talk about you, so ignore it. I ain't giving up, no, I ain't giving up, no. Yahweh be there, brought me on. Yahweh be there. Brought me over. Yahweh be there. Brought me over. Yahweh be there. Brought me over. The calling on my life got me fighting demons. The calling on my life broke a glass ceiling. But the favor on my life keep me going. No weapons, no death, or no plot can destroy me. I've lost everything from my best friend. My granddaddy, baby mama seen they last end. It almost made me lose my mind. But when you knock, it'll open. When you seek, you shall find free. Every day I gotta pray for Audrey, little punchy in a rut. Wipe his tears when it hurts, The homies taking losses over mess, over turf, on drugs, in the trenches over death. The president sending us to war while we hate on each other. Why do mamas have to mourn? I'm praying for a better way. Swing low, sweet chariot, take me away. Yahweh be there. Brought me on. 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 Lord, it's so hard to leave it all behind. A constant struggle each and every day. Some wonder why I often cry, 'cause I continue living this way. But I won't accept.
Yes, man, that's nephew Michael, and I want to endorse him because he represents like me and Big Hank and Cynthia herself. I know Cynthia coming from Southside Chicago, that's no joke. And look how you living. Big Hank, born raised Long Beach, me born in Los Angeles, raised in Kansas City, Kansas, back to Los Angeles. And no one can tell me what God can't do for you. It's not how you start at the beginning, it's how you go at the end. Before Cynthia goes into about the health, the mental health situations, I saw a video. I said I was going to share it, not today, of a guy who was deep in church, and he had a heart attack and he died. And instead of going to heaven, he went to hell. And the stuff that he saw, he can't make this up. What he saw, it was horrific. Demons who plagued you in your life was your slave owner when you went to hell. Kept you with a chain on your neck and torture and all this. And it was talking about music. But God gave him a chance to go back. And he said that in his heart, he felt that God should hurt his enemies that did him wrong. And he had all this unforgiveness in him. That's what kept him from going to heaven. But the man said, God told him, these are my people. They ain't your people. No matter if you're trying to be good and you ain't cool with your other people. We constantly forgiving. As a black, I think we forgive every single time.
Yeah.
We may protest in the streets, but we ain't going up there raiding no Capitol Police Departments talking about we taking over. I just want to bring that up. I thank God for nephew Michael.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's my boy, man. That's Bulldog, man. That's the minister, nephew Michael, man.
Yeah.
Linwood, California.
His parents were part of this group War.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that both of his parents, he was, and we had him on the interview one day. We wanted to bring him back. I want to get him and Big Ski and Rock Box and the crew. He was saying he'd be in his room. He's supposed to be going to sleep and they be in the practicing and stuff. You know, the War had the songs, All My Friends Drive Low Riders. And then they had War. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? You know, all these different songs and stuff. So, Miss Cynthia, I was showing your book, and I want everyone to know that Cynthia is going to be working with us about our health and mental health. different segments. Tell us, talk to me.
Well, of course, mental health is on the rise. People are committing suicide at a high rate. Kids are committing suicide. Depression is real. And people don't speak about it because people are oftentimes too embarrassed to say, I need help. Or people that look like us was taught to shut up, stay quiet about it. Certain things you don't complain about it. You put your big boy or big girl panties on or whatever, and you keep it moving. But we're about to kind of shine a light on this subject and this topic because it's important to not only raise awareness, but to let people know it's okay to need help, to seek that help, to reach out to those people who got your back. Because sometimes it's not your family, it's people like maybe Roy Anthony or myself or Big Hank, who you can go hit in the inbox and let us know you're going through something and maybe need a shoulder or just maybe a listening ear. But today, I guess since we've been talking about all this police craziness and everything, I'm gonna highlight the fact that with everything that's going on, that leads to a higher risk of depression and suicide and all those kind of things. And I want to, I guess, first say it's important that counseling is a normal thing. You're not crazy. You're not less than because you need this help. You are human. Humans go through things. And people who go to school and get professional degrees such as psychologists and stuff like that, that's their job, is to help you. So don't be embarrassed to seek and reach for that assistance. But as Roy said, things like all this police nonsense will lead to depression, which makes you want to drink, makes you want to smoke, and do all these other things that's not really conducive to your body. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't allow what's happening in this world to take you on a downward spiral, because it's not going to change what's happening. Only thing you can do is your part, and that is be that light. Or
Cynthia, how do a person fight depression, for one? The
first way to fight depression is to, number one, admit that you're depressed. Everybody don't admit, because don't nobody want to admit I'm sad. Because as grown people, we're not really taught that we can have trauma, and that's okay. So we got to be able to admit that we're feeling trauma. And then you have to find what works for you. Like for me personally, when I'm in traumatic situations or depressed situations, because as a stroke survivor, I go through it. It's hard to go to the bathroom. It's hard to, shower every day. To do normal things is a challenge. So I definitely have moments where I'm depressed. But I turn my music on and I remember how far I've come. So one of the things I would say is to remember all of the bad things that happened to you as a child and how much you've already got over it. And
not to cut you off, but how long would you let a depression? Because you said sometimes you'll get depressed, and every time I've talked to you, it's never seemed like you've been depressed. So it has to be where it's like you let it last 15, 30 minutes or a half a day.
It varies. It depends on what it is. Like, for instance, prime example, the other day I was in a depression because my mom been dead since I was 10. And so I found myself not always remembering her voice, how she smelled, just good things about her I don't remember. So that bothers me. And so I get depressed. That depression only lasts maybe a half an hour because I remember what she left me with. And like I said, music is like my go-to. And I turn on some Stephanie Mills because Stephanie Mills is her girl. Give me some Stephanie Mills and some Al Green, and I get the dancing and singing. And I remember that I'm Cynthia just like her. And so she lives through me.
Yeah. Does it make you get depressed when I heard you say you lost your mother when you was 10? I never got to meet my dad. He died when I did meet him. He was in a casket. He died in Pelican Bay.
Okay.
And sometimes I look at a show a movie or television show of somebody and somebody's interacting with their dad or something like that, and I'll be in a crazy fantasy like, wow, if I had a dad like that. Does that spark you to get depressed sometimes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I reached out to my sweet face the other day, my Miss Rosie.
You talk to my mother?
I talked to your mom.
Oh my God.
And she, first of all, is so cute.
Wait a minute. Before you continue, I gotta show this then. Everybody wants to know who my mother is. Let me
Show Miss Rosie. Get her on this
let me
screen.
do this.
Hey, son.
You know, I tease you a lot because I got you on the spot. Welcome back. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back.
Roy, why are you welcoming me back? From where? I ain't been nowhere.
Well, I wasn't welcoming you back from nowhere. I was just thought it was a good song to sing to you, you know.
What?
What?
What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, what you know about that? Hey, I know all about that.
Okay, but Cynthia just dropped the bombshell that she had talked to Miss Rosie.
Yes, I talked to Miss Rosie. And speaking of, you made me think about it because that did spark a hidden depression for me that day. But it only lasted for literally a few minutes, like maybe 10 minutes of me just wishing that I had what you have just by having a mom and still living. You know what I'm saying? That is huge. So I was in a moment of like, damn, I wish my mama was here. I wish she chose me over drugs. So I did have a moment where it was like, because my mama told me, I'm going to die with a pipe in my mouth. And that's what she did. So I have moments where I'm just sad and I'm just like, damn, I wasn't worth you putting them drugs down. So when I was talking to your mama and she was giving me constructive criticism about my
Yeah, I'm
potty
about to
mouth
say,
in that
I was
book,
going to ask you, you didn't get no.
but
Around here, we call her Thriller.
well, no, but yes, that definitely does spark a depression. But
Yeah.
when you have moments of depression like that, you just got to remember of the blessings that you do have in your life. You don't focus on the things that you don't have.
Yeah.
So in instances like that, yeah, I was depressed for literally a split second. But she was so sweet and we laughed so much that little bit of depression that I felt for a split second, I got over it. Plus, she told me I can come stay with her. So,
oh yeah, I mean,
so whenever I feel like I want a mama and I need some love, I'm just gonna.
Now that's a blessing. See,
from Mama Rosie.
You know, and trust me. You know, she's always been a helper. Now she didn't have no daughters. So and with me not having a dad, she felt like she had to be both of them and Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier all at once. You understand? But and that's why I come back and forth because I have one parent. Like I said, my dad, I never got to meet him, and he was a rider through Long Beach, and he died in Pelican Bay. When I met him was at the Long Beach funeral. Now, that's why sometimes, when we say sacrifice, sometimes some people say, oh, I couldn't have been in your shoes. Sometimes I can't be in y'all shoes. Mm-hmm. Big Hank went through something you know what I'm saying? I got 2 daughters and a son. And I would never think that I would want to bury one of my kids. Right. Then I look at you, Cynthia. I lie to you not. Why I want to bring up this segment about health and mental health and depression. One of my partners, well, he's one of my brothers. He's like his brother. One of their friends had lost their legs, and he kept saying that if he lost his legs, he's just going to shoot himself in the head because he said that his life ain't going nowhere. What can I do without my legs? And back in the day, I probably would have thought the same way until I met Cynthia, where half her body didn't work at one time.
Yeah.
And you still, I mean, for real, when I see you, I'm like, okay, I'm not wishing that something happened to me.
Right.
But I think that I would have the strength that I could come to you or Big Hank without having an ego trip to say, I need to talk with y'all. When I first got with Big Hank, I didn't know how to talk to Big Hank. It was the Spirit of God. I didn't know how to talk to him about let's doing this.
Yeah.
But the Spirit knows who to put up, and then let him speak his way. You speak your way. I speak my way. What do you think, Big Hank?
Man, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. First of all, our relationship was spiritual. You know what I mean? Because we wasn't talking about all going to the club and hitting no girl. We was talking about doing something to make a difference in the world, and also how we could go and make people laugh and you know, and have a good time. So our relationship is different. And then Cynthia, I want to commend you, because I promise you I would never know that nothing was wrong with you. I would never know. I would never know. You sitting up there with your hair flyed out there, just, you know what I mean? Come on, man. And looking up there smiling. And I'm like, it ain't nothing wrong with her. Look how beautiful she is, man.
Yeah.
So I just want to commend you, man. Really, I commend you. You're one of the strongest ladies I know, man.
I do.
I really
do too.
do.
Because I've learned some stuff too, and I'm gonna confess.
What you confess?
That I've been depressed before. I used to think I'm like, oh, depression is for weak people and stuff like that. But when you said something earlier, she was saying when you sad. I've been times where I didn't feel like being bothered with no one. I didn't feel like getting up. I didn't want to take a shower, nothing. And I just laid around for 2 or 3 days and just wanted to just be me. I didn't want no one else involved. And now I'm thinking, now I know when my dad died, I just felt that I was just staying drunk. I didn't call it depression. My company let me have a bereavement leave. And I kept telling them it's not going to be about 2 or 3 days. I'll be back. I was gone for 2.5 weeks, and I kept falling into a tequila bottle that morning.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, the things that I saw, I put it to I'm drinking, and I would drink till all of a sudden I would open my eyes and hours and went by and stuff. And I didn't realize that I was depressed because I want to escape from what I really am feeling. And one more thing before I stop is I think depression is also where I don't want to communicate or nobody to communicate with me.
Yeah.
I would rather not communicate.
Yeah.
I would rather not communicate. Listen, man, I'm gonna speak on it because I haven't spoke on it. But after my daughter passed, I went through I'm talking about a deep depression. And then it happened at the same time the COVID hit. Ooh. And so we was already staying away from people. And so I just jumped in it like that. And I promise you, man, I didn't look at no comedy. I didn't listen to no music. It wasn't nothing that could get me out of it.
You want that.
Yeah. And I'd rather not talk to people if I didn't have to. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't no 2 weeks. Mine was like 2 years. You hear me? I'm gonna say probably, I want to say the end of last year, I finally came out of it, all the way out of it. I was coming out of it, but I wasn't all the way out of it. But I had to go and do something. I had to go and do something, man, and bring myself out of it because I was down there in it. Roy got me started coming out of it when we went to Memphis. I was in depression then, but when we went to Memphis, Roy, you the one that got me started coming out of it. Okay. And then I just did a show like the end of last year, man. And I went to the show and I was just supposed to bring the young lady up. But as the show was getting ready to get started, one of the comedians didn't show up, and then she ran to me. She said, "Hank," "Hank, I need you to just do a set. You ain't got to do a lot. Just do a set for me." I'm like, "Man, that ain't what you." And then God hit me. He said, "Man, this what you need."
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped up there, man, and did my thing. I had the Mexicans laughing, the white people laughing, so it brought me out. Brought me out. And
That's
so
that's our therapeuticness.
Yes, sir.
Because
yes.
People don't understand how many times I was crying inside, literally crying inside on the stage. Got my best shows. Got everybody laughing.
You know what though? That's because everybody's afraid to call a thing, and unfortunately, y'all are men, and y'all been raised that you got to be strong, and boys don't cry, you don't show emotion, and you don't show feelings, and that makes your depression even higher.
Wait a minute, you said like a man raiser. That same lady you talk about, Miss Rose. One time, boy, I never she smacked me so hard, and she said, "I better not see a tear." And the tear was building up right there. And so I started tilting my head back.
Listen, man, my mom.
Miss Rosie, Roy, don't do Miss Rosie.
My mama taught us the same way, man. I remember one day I tried to. I had beat up the king of the school little brother in the 4th grade, right? So we in the 4th grade, the king of the school in the 6th grade, but he go to the same school we go to. But I beat his little brother up in the 4th grade, man. Beat him all up in the sandbox, bam. So the day we go home, the next morning, getting ready to go to school, I told my mom, I said, "I ain't feeling good, kind of sick." And so my little brother, he's sitting at the table. That nigga, he only in the 1st grade, but he didn't heard about it all day yesterday. He like, he ain't sick. He just got to fight the king of the school today. Right? So my mama said, "You got to do what?" I said, "Yeah, man, I think, the 6th grade dude, he gonna try to get me today, right?" So my mama said, "Look what I want you to do. I want you to, we got an alley right behind our house." She said, "Walk down that alley, pick you up a stick, and take it up to the school. And if he fuck with you, bash him over the head, right?" So me and my homeboy Papa Applewhite, we walking to school, man. We went down the alley. I found a big 2x4, man. I'm dragging that motherfucker down, just dragging it down all the way to the school, man. And so the nigga see me dragging the stick out, the big 6th grade nigga, he came up to me and said, "Look, Hank, man, I ain't finna beat you up, man. I heard about what you did to my little brother, man. Put that damn stick down before I bust you upside the head with it." And just come on back to school. Come on to school, man. But I was scared. I wasn't fit to go to class, man, that day. But my mama taught us that. And so I didn't even know how to deal with depression. I didn't even know I was in it at first, but I didn't know how to deal with it. That's for sure. But God will send you the right person or the right thing.
I should have showed this too. I should have showed this one.
Grandmother, my dad just prayed to Hollow.
Hollow? Who's Hollow?
Dad.
What's up, sugar mommy? Mom?
Roy, who's Hollow?
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
What?
What?
Nigga, your name somebody Hollow.
Right.
But you know what? Let me tell you something, Big Hank. It was not just for you. I'm a person who because I'm lining some stuff up. Me and Big Hank was down in Memphis, and
got some flowers.
I know a couple of people, but nobody who we only know each other. And Brandon Peters, down in San Diego, he came, and the guy had me to get them a plane ticket. In their plane ticket, they got to sit beside each other. Well, they could have sit beside each other, but since Hank is tall, I got him a seat where he can stretch his legs out. And then picked him up. He had his own room. We was in an Airbnb. We went out to dinner at BB King's Cafe.
Man, beautiful, man. Had a good time.
And so I want people to understand, it doesn't make a difference with race, because we don't. Me and Big Hank have dealt with every single race.
Yes, sir.
This man's been dealing with cis race because USC, and he got hundreds of thousands of people
Yes, sir.
Calling his name. Oh, that was the shortest sneeze I ever seen you do. Yes.
She caught that.
That one was like, usually them up like,
But listen, no, but look, I want to say about this depression situation. I want everybody to get up on it because it don't just lead to suicide. It leads to health issues like strokes and heart disease and diabetes and everything else that's health related. Like depression does something mentally that does something affect your whole body. So I just wanted to put that out there to make sure you not only focus on your mental, but focus on your physical as well. Go to your doctors often and just reach out when you need to. Know that we are here for you.
Yeah. You said something earlier about what is it that you can do to get out of being depressed. And you said at least acknowledging that you are depressed.
That's the first thing you got to do. You got to acknowledge that you are depressed.
Okay.
Call a thing, and then you got to figure out what's the thing that's making you depressed. Because some things you have control over and some things you don't. Like for me with this stroke thing, I don't have control over it. Right. It's just a part of my life now. So now I have to pick and choose what things I'm going to let take me out or which things I'm going to let elevate me. Everything is about perspective.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. You said that one of the things that you go to, though, when you start to feel depression is music. Of course. And we have been a witness of you with the music and writing.
Music, writing, and comedy. Because I still do my jokes. Don't get it twisted. I still got my
jokes. You know what? I felt bad. I call me and Big Hank professional comedians. I always call you an Arthur, but you are a comedian too.
It's all good. I'm a female Steve Harvey. I'm everything. Okay. I write music.
Okay.
I'm a comedian. I write stories. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an author. I'm whatever you need me to be in that moment. That's who I am.
Baby girl. I like like me see baby girl.
You say you the female Steve Harvey. Do you wear men's shoes sometimes too, like Steve Harvey?
I do when I gotta wear my AFO. I do wear men's shoes.
Cause he be having on some girly looking shoes sometimes. I don't know what he be doing. I don't know what
I can tell you a story about Steve Harvey.
I don't know what he doing over there.
He tried to bag on me because I told him I had got a scholarship for doing humorous Turk. Because I write.
Tried to bag on you, Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey did. At it was. The concert was Faith Evans, Anita. What's the young girl? You don't know my name.
Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys, Faith Evans, the one singer that be like, "Let's go for a walk through the park."
Jill
Scott and Genuine. So I had backstage passes. So I'm going up there and he's emceeing the show. And I said, "Hey, what's up with you, Mr. Harvey?" And he said, "Hey, what's up with you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a professional comedian trying to be." I was trying to, humble myself. And he said, "Oh, for real?" I said, "Yeah." So I was just trying to give him, how you try to give an antidote of for somebody to take you as seriously. So I said, "Yeah, man, I take this comedy seriously. I even had a scholarship to Wichita State for humorous and Turk." He went, "Hold up. You're trying to tell me you went to college to tell some jokes?"
To be a comedian.
Yeah. So I had to come and I bagged on him because at the time he had the Steve Harvey show and he had an afro, right?
Okay.
Right.
But when I met him backstage, he had a sombrero all the way down and I didn't see no hair.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I noticed that you got this hat on and no hair sticking out. Was you wearing wigs on your show?"
Yeah.
And now I'm the only one who could laugh because it was just us three, him and his partner. So
right.
He went around and walked out because show me where your hair is.
Yeah. Look, I need to see a hairline around this camp.
Exactly. Now, some people say you can't disrespect shit. That's because you don't put him on a certain platform that doesn't. You see him on the shows doesn't mean that you know him personally. He's still a comedian. He can joke. He should be able to take a joke.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Now, Big Hank, before we go out of here, Big Hank supposed to be on the sports. And is there anything lately and mention sports? Somebody just gave me this. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs fan
Come on, man.
Guess
Come
what
on.
that is? Guess what it is? That's
Look
how
like
tiny it is.
Look like a little Raider, man.
It is number 4 too. They gave me this little Derek Carr.
Hey, Cole. But sports talk with Hank Norman, man. Listen, first thing we got to talk about is it being 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. That's never happened before.
Yeah,
that's never happened. That's never happened before.
Big Hank, I said this last night. I said one thing I know is going to be a black quarterback win the Super Bowl.
Look, so when people ask me who I got, I just say I'm taking the black quarterback. I got the black quarterback. That's who I got. I got the black quarterback, man. That's who's gonna win. So that's the first thing that's the first topic that we would have to talk about. And then I was gonna move to the basketball where everybody getting traded. You got Kyrie that left Brooklyn and came to first of all, we got to talk about LeBron breaking Kareem record, a record that stood for over 40 years.
Is it me though, Big Hank? I just feel like because when Kareem was doing it, he was winning championships.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, of course. Now LeBron got 3 or 4 championships too. He just got them with different teams. And also, my only thing about it is when Kareem was doing it, they wasn't making threes. You couldn't shoot no threes back then. What no threes?
Good point.
What no threes? Yeah, what no threes back then? You have only 2s. So now that's when I'm kind of like, well, come on now. You know what I mean? Of course he gonna get it if he play long enough. Every time he make 2 baskets, he gets 6 points, and Kareem will only get 3, only 4.
And they didn't have as many and ones. They was getting hacked a lot just to get that one shot.
So yeah, okay. It's a little different, man. It's a little different. I
still
man.
Congratulate them because that's still a milestone, and they recognize it in history.
And we ain't knocking no black brother that did something good. That's what we're not doing on here.
Exactly.
Okay, then you got Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They demanded trades from their team. Can you imagine that? They demanded trades from their team, and they got to go to the team that they wanted to go to. Ain't that something?
New York seems to always had this thing like, not the Knicks, but the Nets.
The Nets.
And they used to be called the New Jersey Nets, because from my understanding they're in New Jersey.
The New Jersey Nets.
I paid attention to Kyrie Irving. And I think that my Clippers got caught up like deers in the headlights, because they got off to like beating us by 20 points or something.
Yeah.
But I was looking at Kyrie Irving, his game just doesn't change up. He's like silk. He water. He's smooth. Yeah. Ooh. And I can just wonder, but on paper things look good. But Luka Doncic seems to always keep the ball in his hands. I don't know how that works, but I do know how it works with Durant, with Chris Paul, and
Devin Booker. Devin Booker. Now, Devin Booker liked the ball a lot too. Shit, he liked the ball a lot too. But I could see Chris Paul dishing to Kevin Durant and letting him hit some of them sweet ass jumpers he be doing. It's gonna be.
Only why I felt that Booker, reminds me of Eddie Jones back in the Laker days. Because he can have the ball, but he wants to shoot it. If you look at it, Devin Booker didn't have nobody to facilitate with him. They stand back and watching him play instead of playing with him and stuff,
And I don't understand why they don't use that center they got there. That him and the coach don't get along good in Arizona.
Is it Alton, the black guy?
Yeah, he a black dude, but he the center. What's his name? Damn. He a youngster too.
Alton, I thought.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure it was Alton. He a youngster, man. Chris Paul be feeding him a lot, but when Devin Booker in there, he don't get the ball a lot. He got to go get it. I can't think of his name.
That was Alton.
Him and the coach don't get along.
They just gave him an extension or something. I don't know.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much it on the sports. There ain't no whole lot of stuff.
Man, I want to bring up something right quick.
Come on.
We're boxing fans.
boxing
And I
fan.
want to put this out there. I've been listening to every time I look up for Terrence Crawford and Spence and all that. I see all these guys bickering with each other, and I'm trying to figure out how much information do you know. The fighting and say this person's ducked that person is ducked that person. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Terrence Crawford, and I never have understood how can you say he fight tomato cans. What tomato cans get a championship? You can't not become undisputed. I can't go in the ring and just get a championship.
Right.
If he's such much a tomato can, why you didn't go in there and fight the tomato can and take the championship so you can fight Terrence Crawford? Now, what I have noticed is that women boxing seem to be a little bit more, we'll come and face you than the men.
Okay.
When do the men go on and claim? Now, Deontay Wilder, he'll fight whoever you put in front of him. That's what I saw. Because
I like the little boxer we was talking about. I want to say his name is Shane, but I can't think of his name right now. He a little bad dude too, little bitty man.
Terrence Crawford.
No.
You got Earl Spence. Oh, Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, Gervonta Davis. That's my dude, man. I like him.
Boy, he put a whooping on Santa Cruz one time.
Man, he whooped up on him, man.
Put it on. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gervonta Davis.
I'm hoping that the boxing, but the thing is that people can't do it like Mayweather. When Floyd Mayweather first started pay-per-view, I bought it. It was $9.99. Then it went to $19.99.
I remember.
And the bigger his opponents and people can bring the boxing match to your home. That's
$29.99. Then it went to $49.99. I remember all that.
My last price was $79, and I was like, no, I can't go from there now. I had to watch the replay on YouTube. HBO used to be. But hey y'all, thank y'all. Big Hank. Hey, I know you got more deeper details on sports. I know we holding up the time. We're trying to keep it to an hour. Anybody who wants to, we are doing commercials and stuff. We got some stuff being boiled. I've been trying to find the one Big Hank, we didn't make it a video for funky sticks.
Yeah,
I've been trying to find that and stuff, man. But we've been having people asking how can they put video, send us the advertise on our show, and we can. That's why we're showing you different segments and stuff. Sometimes we get somebody asks me, why y'all go 2 hours now? It's too much time right there, and we got things to do.
Right, you got shit to do. You got shit to do during the day, man. Shit can't be this motherfucker all day.
I'm just glad that we saw 2023.
Yes, sir. Beautiful, man.
On a positive note.
Hey, but hey, listen, man, and we need to pray for them people in Syria and in Turkey, man.
Yes. People died in the earthquake.
Man, they said something like 10,000 buildings fell down. Can you imagine that?
Man.
God, dog.
And you know, I'm gonna tell you something, everybody. I pray. We don't know to pray for everybody.
We don't know how to pray for everything, right?
Well, victims, family, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, little babies. I've seen them pulling babies and stuff out of rubble. And babies are resilient. I'm gonna say that. Some babies are some resilient little creatures, right? I'm for real. I'm not trying to be funny, but you know, babies are resilient. They found some babies that was live under the rubble, and then I was just seeing where somebody said they kept hearing crying for 2 days. They thought it was a cat whine. It was a baby been there crying for 2 days in a trash bin, and I was like, wow.
And then they pulled a little 10-year-old dude out. And he said, man, my whole family down there, man. Everybody down there, man. My whole family dead. And they pulled him out by his arm. He got his little arm sticking out. They pulled him out by his arm, man. 10 years old, lost his whole family.
And so sometimes when we sit up here thinking that, oh, I'm going through this and going through that, I think that sometimes that could be depressing. If you got family members, just hearing it's kind of disturbing a little bit, you know, and stuff. I'm just grateful that we have life, you know. I'm grateful to God. Now, we don't push our spirituality. I know I don't, but I believe in God through his salvation, through his son, Jesus. That's how I am.
Me too.
I don't push it on nobody.
Oh.
If you think that I'm a pushover, then I tell you, try Jesus. Don't try me, because I
Don't
will
try me.
But we have a heart.
Yes, sir.
A big heart. But thank God for you, Big Hank. Thank God for you, Cynthia Joi. I think this is a promising year. Stuff to do. Have a blessed weekend.
Man, I keep finding myself looking at Cynthia over there playing in her hair, man. I don't know what you doing over there, man.
Making sure I'm cute.
Look, and that's what you're doing too. That's what you doing. That's what you doing, man.
I told her, she's like, remind me of that scene on The Wiz. What's the day's color? The ring is the favorite color.
I feel like that Janet Jackson album.
I see you, man. You got it. You did it. You did that. You hit that shit on the nail.
Beyonce songs. I ain't paying no $1,400 in the nosebleed.
Hey man, I love both of y'all, man.
I love y'all too, Big Hank. I'll be hollering at you too on some music soon.
Okay, for sure. Let's go. All right.
I'm putting up the thing up, so I'm just bringing up a video. I found some music that we can play on the background. I didn't want to play that, but I said we're going to do that eventually. I'm putting the title out. Because Cynthia didn't listen to her name being called. So you on there, Cynthia. Big Hank bagged. Big Hank got everybody. I didn't have people, even Ramonda said, Big Hank, remember you did the mix? It's the Roy Anthony Show with the co-host, Big Hank, Ramonda Robinson. What letter? Cynthia Joi. You ain't watched that last episode of season 5?
Yeah.
Big Hank clown. They still talk about that. The ex. They messing with us now.
Yes, sir.
Homie on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast.
Yeah,
Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast, the Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Cynthia Joi. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
Every
down.
Thursday.